And look what it says. Go to Romans chapter 1, verse 16. Y'all still here? I'm making a point, whether you want to hear it or not. If you do not activate your salvation, your call will not be manifested and others will go to hell. And guess what? You'll be held accountable. Well, I thought everybody have to give an account, but he saved some to save many. I pastor and people got saved through my pastoring. Some of you just have sinners in your family that are going to get saved. But you're playing it so safe, you don't want them to offend you and call you names and write you out of their will. So you refuse to put them in God's will so you can get $5 from them. Uncle Buckwheat left me $5. I should have preached to him. I don't go around people that don't let me preach. Especially if you know I'm a preacher and you don't let me preach. I don't go around you because I'm going to start to feel like you ever, forgive me for saying this, you ever heard of constipation? No, diarrhea, that's the worst one. You know diarrhea is you got to go. And if you hold it in, you get, and then somebody tell you, can you walk with me somewhere? You feel like, you just got to go. When you're really on fire, you just got to go. Can I just tell you something about Jesus? Anything. He's the Son of God. Just let me say one thing. I'm going to blow. But when it's safe, your bowels are nice and regulated. You ain't telling nobody nothing. God, forgive me for these analogies. Ready? Verse 1. Verse 16. Look at somebody real good and say, I'm so glad you look saved. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. For it is the power of God, where at? Unto salvation. If you don't preach, where's my wife? Come up here, please, honey, chickens. I like this girl. Now, we're married. Now, my wife, stand behind this pulpit, so I want to tell him something. And you might be a little embarrassed, but don't worry about it. You can look at me so you don't be completely embarrassed. Now, my wife is human, right? She's part human, part godly. You know, God woman. She's a God woman of God. That's what they would call you. They call her woman of God, human woman of God. I'm a man of God, and we got like a lot in common, right? But sometimes I do some street things. And my wife has a tendency of knowing how to move away from me when I go street. When we first got married, it was a shock for her. Now, she don't know what I'm going to say. We went to the movies, and I'm so used to being by myself, and when something's funny, it's funny. My wife believes it's funny, and that's enough. And, you know, but no, if I'm going to laugh, and she's going to like, stop that. Stop embarrassing me. And we got to the point where she said, we're going to go to the movies, but you better not act up. And so I said, you know what? I'll go to a movie that I won't act up with you. But when I want to act up, I'm going to go by myself. Because she does not like to be embarrassed or ashamed. Oh, she wants me to be clear. The thing is, I get on the floor. When I'm in a movie, if it's funny, I'm falling on the floor. On Facebook, you'll call it ROTLF. You'll just do the letters. I be on the floor. And she said, I'm not having that. She said, I'm not having that. No rolling on the floor. So I still roll, but we don't roll together. Because she's ashamed that a grown man is rolling on the floor in the movie theater. Look, certain people shaking their heads like, I would not go with you either. But Paul said, I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. For it is the power of God unto salvation. When you don't witness, you're ashamed of the gospel. I'm shy. You're ashamed. Shy people are ashamed. Why are you shy? I'm ashamed. You shouldn't say you're shy. You should say I'm ashamed. Well, I'm ashamed. I'm shy, shame. Well, she's shy. No, she's shame. What is shyness? Shame. You're not confident, right? Come on. You're not confident. You're huddled up. And you wonder why nobody's saved, because you're ashamed. I'm too shy. There's too shame. I'm ashamed of the gospel because I don't want them saved. Talking about Jesus. I'm not talking about no Jesus. I'm talking about church and my pastor. He's nice. Pastor Rich is funny. Oh, I'm not ashamed to talk about Pastor Rich's jokes. My jokes don't get nobody saved. My pastor with nice clothes and a nice car. He lives in a nice house. We never been there though. His address is not even listed. I think he's ashamed of us. Come on, help me. I'm trying to close. Paul said, I'm not ashamed of the gospel because it is the power of God unto salvation. If you want power in your salvation, don't be ashamed of the gospel. Inviting people to church. They might die before Sunday.
Amen.
Invite them to Christ and use the word Jesus. I want to talk to you about God. No, I want to talk to you about Jesus. Don't say that loud. You can't even say Jesus. Oh, we can say Muhammad. We can say Buddha, Confucius. You can say, oh, well, why I can't say Jesus? Because there's shame. Governments are ashamed. And when he comes, they're going to have to answer for this shame. I raised you up out of a barbaric nation, and now you're ashamed of me? I'm going to turn my back on you, and you watch how you fall. My father used to beat us good. He used to work in a laundromat. And guess what? It closed at 3 o'clock. And we cleaned our house up. It took 5 minutes. Took us 8 hours to wreck the house, 5 minutes to get it fixed. Because we refused to get beat. Because we knew he was coming. And only one way to get saved was to clean the house. Jesus is coming back. Act busy. At least look busy. The prophet could have been up here an hour ago. Get me out of here. They know that. People are already conditioned. And once you play the music, it means he's over. I like Naima's laugh. She don't even want to know how to use it. Everybody else they be ashamed to laugh. Anybody saved, they be like this. Is that a trick question? I can't do this. Maybe next year. But anybody ever heard of I can't take this church no more. That new clock is just doing me in. Let me give you this last story. You ever heard of, what's that guy's name? King Saul. God didn't want Saul to run his people. The people wanted King Saul. So King Saul had a problem. God told him, well, Prophet Samuel said, 7 days, I'm going to show up. Samuel said, Saul is not coming on time. And then he begins to try to do things to keep the people interested in his leadership. Come on, help me. That's what I want you to hear. Don't play it safe. If people got to leave you, they got to go. That's why you don't want to get married too soon. Because if they got to bounce, just put more rubber. Give them some more air and let them bounce off. Come on, not everybody needs to be in your life. And they need to have as much tests as possible before you chain yourself to them. So here's King Saul, gets into an issue, does something that he wasn't supposed to do. What's his name? What's the prophet? Samuel comes, and it said if you would obey God, God would have established your kingdom forever. But now God is, I like the way he worded it. He said God has found someone whose heart was perfect for him. In other words, God already knew you wasn't going to. Come on, prophet, for real, get me out of here. See my clock's on 0. That means I'm on fumes here. God already knew he was going to replace King Saul. Do you know who your replacement is? Come on, help me. Think about it. If you're not doing your job, anybody here got a job? Stop working. Boss come around, just kick your legs up. Say, yo, hey, bossy, watch me. Look at my move. Look. Boss a move. Watch this, boss. They're going to be like, you know, we was really, looking to downsize, but now we really don't have to. We're just going to fire you. We're not downsizing. We're firing you. We got a reason. Downsizing is an excuse for them to keep money. Firing you is a reason that we waited to fire you. What kind of ghetto mics are these? I blame the sound people for everything. They break all my stuff. Now watch this, because it's gonna help 3 of y'all. Maybe 4 might listen. So now, Saul, he's a religious guy now. He tells everybody, I'm tired of these devils attacking me. Everybody go on a fast. And he said, everybody fast now. And they're like, oh, Saul got guts now. He calling a fast. He starts to build an altar. He's getting all religious now. They don't know his job was just prophesied it was getting taken from him. Now he's all religious. Come on. And now he said, everybody fast. If anybody eat anything, even to my son Jonathan, I'm going to kill him. But Jonathan wasn't there. Jonathan goes around. He said, well, you know what? This is all scriptural. He said, God is able to save by many or by few. He said, let's go down there and see what's going on with those Philistines that was messing with us. And this is what Jonathan said to his armor bearer. And his armor bearer said, yo, if you go, I'm with you, no problem. He said, now if they tell us, don't come, then that means God didn't bring them into our hands. But if they invite us, that means God's going to deliver us. So they said, come on over. Jonathan said, oh yeah. He went down and started killing them. He said, this is what he told his armor bearer, after I start killing them, then you come kill the other ones. I'm trying to help some of y'all. So y'all looking at me like, is this a movie? You see, if you want to be saved, you should be killing some folk. Kill some sinners. Let them get saved. You get to die once. Kill them. Get them out of sin. You already died. That's why you looking at me like you know it all. Stop some sinners from sinning. That's called killing them. They're all looking at me like, I see a couple of them with flashback. Yeah, Pastor, you for real? I seen some on the block. I could really, Watch this, Elder Mike. So now they brought this deliverance, and he's walking through the woods, Jonathan, and he sees some honey. And the Bible says clearly when he ate the honey, his eyes was enlightened. See, whenever you serve God, he'll open up the eyes of your understanding. Many of you are still in stupid mode. Some of you are still asleep. That's what it is. When you sleep, you're stupid. How can you sleep when life is going on? Let me tell you what I'm talking about. The Bible says this. God said he's going to send a spirit of slumber so that they will be stupid when Jesus came, and guess what they did? They killed him because they slept when they should have been up. How many ever slept during the day? I'm not trying to make you think my wife's a bad person, but she's married to me. She came home one day, and I was asleep in the middle of the day. She said, you got a problem? You gonna sleep your life away? In my mind, I'm like, I'm Pastor Rich, right? In my mind, I'm like, I'm Pastor Rich. I work all week long. all week long, and I sacrifice my weekends for God. But this woman thinks if I'm asleep during the middle of the day, it ain't right. Come on. The Bible even says sleep while it's night. And I be trying to play religious, but she come in every Saturday with the same story. We gonna sleep your life away? She got me so trained. She called, I changed my voice. Hi. Hi. I'm okay. Everybody's okay. Yo. Then she hang up. I'll be like this. I go, wait. How close? How close are you to the house? I want to be saved. I ain't stupid. She loved me. She ain't going to come in and see me sleep at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and say, oh, you must be tired. She's going to open up the window, start cleaning. And she know I can't take the fumes. And I'll get up and I say, you don't love me. Get married. You start acting like the devil too. Little sleep, little slumber, little folding of the hand, sudden destruction. So she don't say, would I love for her to come in and say it's nice? I don't want to sleep at 3 o'clock. It's hot. I'll be in a coma. All right, I'm leaving anybody ever slept past the time? You ain't supposed to sleep longer than it's time. The spirit get a hold of you. Be hoping she come pull the blankets off of me so I can wake up. Now all the sleepy ones like this. You mean it's wrong? Yes! You're supposed to rest, not sleep. Because if you sleep too long, the spirit of slumber can get you. Now here we go. So Jonathan's eating the honey. His eyes become enlightened. Why was he able to eat the honey? Because he bought deliverance. Many of you, your food don't even satisfy you. Many of you are overweight because you just keep eating because you can't taste your food. Your food ain't helping you. You're just satisfying your what they call that? Your impulses. People that eat, the food satisfies them. People that are saved, witnessing satisfies them. Because when you're really saved, you want somebody to have what you have. How many married people here? I'm not using this mic no more. How many people here? See, look, say, he won't be saved. His hand is way up off his elbow. He ain't bringing it down. Go on. When you get really saved or when you really get married, you start to think what they want counts. The moment you don't think what they want counts is the moment you said, I'm tired of you. And God will not bless you. Because you married them with the promise that you won't forsake them. If this might forsake me one more time, Liz. I'm closing here. Watch this. Jonathan, the people, they have a big victory. The enemy starts killing themselves and the men go berserk. Because they just broke a fast and now they're eating the food with blood in it, which is against the law. So that really drove Saul crazy, and Saul said, who started this sin? And they did lots, and they found out that it was Jonathan. And Saul said, bring him here so I can kill him. The whole congregation got up in Saul's face and said, you are not touching him. Because through him, God brought salvation. That religious father wanted to kill his son. Come on. See, that's what's in each and every one of us. There is a religious father in each and every one of us that will try to kill the son that can bring salvation. And you got to fight that father off. You got to fight comfort off. You got to say, I'm not playing it safe anymore. I'm going to act saved. And you're going to play something because I'm about to tell them to ask them to stand to their feet. Stand to your feet. Please.